Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to episode 2 of Guys Hiding from Their Wives. Once again with Magic Mike, Alexander the Great, and the Juicy TK. I'm your host, Big Ben.
I forgot he was juicy last week.
Yeah, and I'm
Where's
not
them
fired.
juicy shorts, baby?
They're on underneath my pants. Do you want me to take them out? I'll take them
No,
off.
no.
Oh, okay.
Very first, can you guys hear that? Listen. That's right. No cats this episode, guys. She was just pissed off we didn't let her co-host last week. We did reach a contract settlement, so hopefully she's good to go. What's happening this week, fellas? How you guys doing?
I didn't get fired last week, so yeah, I'm pretty good.
Keep it up. You're close.
I could be getting fired. I've been out of work for 3 weeks because I broke my foot. But other than that, we'll see.
And I'm just here for the treats.
And we're not going to go into too many details about what kind of treats are involved here, but yeah, just for the sake of argument, we'll go with that. So, first things first, guys, I do want to wish a very, very good luck to our Carbon All-Stars from right here in our local area are headed to the state championship this weekend. They're actually up there playing in pool play right now, but the tournament finals continue on this weekend, so good luck to them. You have our full support from here at Guys Hiding from Their Wives right behind you guys. So what's new in the world this week, fellas? Anything?
Well, first of all, I know you guys posted some stuff on Facebook and social media, and thanks to everybody that responded and, got back to us about the topic that we're going to really delve into this week about sports movies, favorite, worst, and everything in between. So thank you, everybody, for, acknowledging us and getting back to us, and we appreciate all the input.
Yes, right on. Thank you very much to those of you who did get back on that. If you hadn't get the chance to get back with us yet, we're still going to be doing this from here until the end of time. So follow us on Twitter at Guys Hiding. I think I screwed that up last week and give you the wrong Twitter name, whatever you want to call it.
It's called a handle.
Yeah.
It is a handle.
Son of a bitch. So yeah, our correct Twitter handle, keep it up, you're going to get fired again, at Guys Hiding. Email us at 4guyshiding@gmail.com. You can find us on Facebook. Our Facebook page is probably where we see the majority of our responses. That's facebook.com/Guys Hiding from Their Wives. So give us a like, give us a follow, see what's happening. We do post some stuff on social media where we do want to hear from you guys, the listeners and the followers, so get on that.
That's all like new school stuff. I'm still on dial-up, for crying out loud.
So you can call Mike. We'll go ahead and get
on
his
the rotary
number
phone.
out.
I'll be available.
Post it on there. You can give him a call.
Yeah, just write Mike. It'd be easier.
Send it to him through snail mail.
There you go. I can get that.
Now, one other thing, while we're talking about the social media, if you haven't got the chance to check out that Facebook page, I did post a link to it today. I did post it on Twitter also. Today it marks the 20th anniversary, 20 years ago today, when The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, proceeded to kill Mick Foley in their infamous Hell in a Cell match from, I don't even remember which pay-per-view it was, but it was just brutal. I can hear JR screaming, "My God, he's broken him in half, as God is my witness." Absolute loved it. If you haven't seen it, check out that link. Look it up on YouTube. It's amazing.
And how have you not seen it? It is all over the internet. It's practically become the meme at this point. Everybody knows about Mankind falling 20 feet through a table.
It was my lullaby as a child.
Falling, he got thrown. That's all there was to it. And speaking of wrestling, really quick, this is all we're going to touch on for this week. We do want to wish the family and friends of Leon White, also known as Big Van Vader. He passed away this week. He was an 11-time world champion across WCW and WWE. And
IGPW.
Of course, he did wrestle in Japan, too. I did forget about that. So we do want to wish his family and friends a sincere, not severe, heartfelt condolence. Rest in peace, Leon. You will be missed. Thank you for the memories. So, before we get into it, you guys got anything else you want to bring up? Anything you want to start off with?
Why don't we start off talking about sports? That's what people are here for, aren't they?
That's what we like. I thought they were just here for me to hear my 900 sexy voice going on.
I figured you was going to explode right into what you've been hot about for a couple days and not even go into the topic. So you might as well just start with that because I already know you're on fire.
All right. Yes, I am on fire. We're going to bitch for a minute about the NBA end of season awards. More specifically, the four major ones. the Defensive Player of the Year, the MVP, the Coach of the Year, and yes, we are going to get into the hotly contested Rookie of the Year debate. So, in case you aren't aware, the NBA handed out their awards. Defensive Player of the Year went to Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz. Now, just again, this is just to prove that I'm not a homer. I am a Jazz fan, but I'm going to bitch about this one too. Rudy Gobert is a defensive stud. I absolutely love him. But in my mind, the guy only played, I think it was 52 games this season. I mean, he missed over a third of the season. I don't know that you can give out an award for Defensive Player of the Year to a guy that only played 2/3 of the season.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fair to say. I don't think that. Don't get me wrong. I love Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is my favorite defensive player, but I truly don't feel like he deserved it. Like you said, where he played about half the games.
Yeah, and if I'm a Pelicans fan, I'm pissed off, just like I'm pissed off about the rest of these too. You know, Anthony Davis, in my mind, deserved that Defensive Player of the Year. He was a freaking horse in the paint there for New Orleans. But, you know, really what I think it boils down to is they went ahead and gave it to Rudy Gobert because they shafted the Jazz on the other two awards. Coach of the Year went to, was it Dwayne Casey of the Toronto Raptors? How can you win Coach of the Year and then proceed to get yourself fired at the end of the season?
Well, didn't the Raptors have like the best record in the NBA?
At least in the Eastern Conference. I think
Okay,
the
so-
Rockets had the best record in the NBA.
So what you got to do for Coach of the Year? It's usually the best turnaround for a team. Where was the Raptors last year?
They were right there again. I think weren't they in the middle of at least in the playoffs?
Okay, so I mean, I look at it. For me personally, I like when a team turns it around. If you win, 82 games in the NBA. If you win 40, 42 games and then you come out and win 60, that's a big improvement, especially when you're a winning team. But if you win, 15, 20 games like the Sixers did a few years ago, and then come back and win like 40, that's a miraculous.
That's an even bigger improvement.
When you're a low team and you're not expected to win, and you come out and win 40, 45 games, that's pretty good.
See, and I have to disagree. I actually think that the coach of the Rockets should have won it. I'm sorry. I know they have Harden and Chris Paul, but getting those guys to play together, I think it's a big accomplishment.
Well, if that's the case, if we're just going on getting guys to play together, and I can't remember his name right off the top of my head. Excuse me on that, but the head coach of the Oklahoma City Thunder, if you can get Paul George and Russell Westbrook to coexist in any locker room,
Westbrook to get along with anybody.
Well,
deserve something.
But the Rockets were more successful, and that's just where I.
But see, and again, we talked about it. The Rockets, I think, were the second best team in the West last year, and this year they were the top. So I mean, I don't know.
Expect it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Expect it. And then the Rookie of the Year award. This has just got me pissed off up a storm. Ben Simmons of the Philadelphia 76ers won the NBA's Rookie of the Year award over Donovan Mitchell of the Jazz, and I don't even remember who else was in the running for it. But
honestly, nobody else should have been in the running for it. Donovan Mitchell should have been Rookie of the Year. It's almost undebatable at this point.
and don't get me wrong, Ben Simmons had a phenomenal first year playing, but the award is Rookie of the Year, not First Year Player of the Year. Yes, Ben Simmons was injured all last year and didn't get to play, but my point is this: Ben Simmons last year wasn't sitting in a college classroom, wasn't playing college basketball. He was in the NBA. He was working out with the Philadelphia 76ers. He was a professional basketball player. He had signed his contract. He's going through the work. He knows the rigors of an 82-game season. Whereas you've got Donovan Mitchell was still playing college basketball at Louisville, where they play a 30-some-odd game season plus the tournament, plus the whatever else you got going on. And yes, I realize that college athletes do have it a lot easier in the classroom, but regardless, you still have to take classes. You still have everything else that goes along with being a college student. I could go on all night. Somebody take over.
Well, it's happened in every sport throughout the history of time. My first thing that popped in my mind when you said that was 1975, Fred Lynn. Came up with the Red Sox in 74, and he got injured. And he didn't meet the minimum games played to qualify for Rookie of the Year. So the next year in 75, he got Rookie of the Year because he qualified for the innings and everything else. And in baseball, I don't know what NBA is. Maybe one of you guys could look it up. But in baseball, I believe, I haven't looked for a long time, but it used to be 130 at-bats for a position player and 50 innings pitched. And I think they added something recently to be on the active roster for like 45 days or something like that. But I know there's a playing limit. So I assume the NBA
baseball's really screwy like that. Well, and like you said, it's happened before. It even happened 2011, I believe it was, when Blake Griffin was injured the entire season before, came out with the Clippers that year and won the Rookie of the Year over John Wall. Same kind of thing. It's absolute BS. Even though Blake Griffin didn't play, he was still in that NBA environment. He was still working out with the team. He was there as part of a professional club. I don't think that he qualifies as a rookie.
See, and I'm actually going to disagree.
Here we go. Start sending those resumes in. I'm firing him.
I think if you look from the player's standpoint, I'm going to look at it as if I was a player. If I didn't get to play my rookie season, that would be pretty devastating. Injuries are devastating to begin with. If I'm injured my rookie season and don't have a chance to play for that Rookie of the Year, yeah, that's really tough. And I think they ought to be able to play for Rookie of the Year in their second year if they didn't get any games played. Because to me, a rookie is somebody that hasn't played an NBA game or, a professional game. Because it's totally different in practice or in the facilities to when you get out on the court with the fans, with everybody around you. It's got to be totally different. The leadership aspect comes in. And it all. Donovan Mitchell is deserving to be in that category. I think just overall stats, Simmons wins it.
Well, okay. Well, let's get into this argument then. Look who Ben Simmons had around him. If Ben Simmons doesn't have Joel Embiid with him, he's nowhere in this conversation. Donovan Mitchell was the guy in Utah.
Oh, yeah. There's no question about that.
There's no superstars in Utah, though. They won't come here.
That's
exactly.
just it.
Yeah, there's no superstars in
Which
Utah.
actually is going to lead me into my next point here that we're going to talk about.
And I think, takeaway, if Simmons wasn't in it, yeah, Donovan Mitchell wins it. I'm a Utah guy. I am. I do like the fact, though, that he got to play for that opportunity because I think it's fair. Some people don't agree, like you don't agree, and that's fine. I just think it's fair. I wish the NFL would do something kind of like that because you have a lot of guys that get hurt their first year. It's strenuous on your body going from a college level playing to professional.
I don't think it's heralded as much in the NFL as it is in basketball and baseball. In baseball, there's a big presentation, Rookie of the Year. In football, you're like, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. And for me personally, I don't really care about it because they put these rules in place so if someone did get an injury, they had a chance to come back and win Rookie of the Year the next year. That's why they did it, to give everybody a fair shot. Oh, he played 15 games, but he hurt his ankle. He was out for the year. Well, let's let him give another shot next year. And that happened in every sport. They set them rules, that precedence, so they could compete for Rookie of the Year. Because, like I said, in NBA and MLB, it's more of a prestigious award than it is in football and hockey and everything else. So that's why they did the rules, and I have no problem with it.
Well, and, don't get me wrong. Ben Simmons is an amazing athlete. He's an incredible basketball player. And, again, I'm not trying to take that away from him. I just don't feel that he belonged in this category of rookie. But, at this point, and this is the beauty of this, we all disagree, so let's agree to disagree on that. Moving forward, you did talk about it. There are no superstars in Utah because none of them will ever come here, and you are not wrong. I mean, we've got the big names right now that are out there. You've got your LeBron James, you're wondering where he's going, Kawhi Leonard. Paul George is I mean, I don't know that he quite comes off as a superstar, but he does have that relationship with Donovan Mitchell. There has been a lot of speculation that he might be looking at joining the Jazz this year to play alongside Mitchell and Gobert. What's your guys' thoughts on that? Is it a pipe dream for Jazz fans? Is it something that the front office of the Jazz can only grasping at straws to think maybe this has happened? Or is there a legitimate possibility?
When's the last time they brought in a player?
Hornacek.
In answer to that, it was probably Carlos Boozer was the last big name free agent.
It was Carlos Boozer.
And
we don't pay people.
Yeah, Carlos Boozer ended up being pretty valuable to the Jazz for the years he was there, but I don't think that he was getting what he wanted out of the Jazz. I think that's why he left in the end.
A lot of people didn't like Boozer. here
No,
in
a lot of
Utah.
people didn't.
He didn't fit Utah. He didn't fit Utah, and I don't know if Paul George would fit Utah. Maybe with the direction they're going, I think Donovan Mitchell's a leader, so he could come in with Paul George. And
On the NBA Insider site, from what I read the other day, is the Lakers offered George a contract, and he turned it down.
Really, I hadn't heard that.
Lakers are also going after Kawhi Leonard.
I knew that.
And
I actually just got the alert that the Spurs now are talking with both the Lakers and the Celtics about Kawhi
And
Leonard.
I also heard that LeBron James was talking to the Lakers and Kevin Durant.
Yep. Stephen A. Smith actually reported that. And again, I don't know how much stock you can put in that because he is Stephen A. Smith. But apparently LeBron had texted Kevin Durant about coming and joining the Lakers with him. And I think I did read somewhere that the Lakers were hesitant about going anywhere else. Or not the Lakers were hesitant. LeBron was hesitant about going to the Lakers without another superstar in place, whether that be a Kawhi Leonard or a Paul George. So the question for you guys is, where does LeBron end up?
on this last weekend, I don't see him going anywhere other than the Lakers and the Rockets. I read a thing today that it was a graph of pretty much where he should go. One of the worst spots for him to go is the Warriors. I don't know if the Warriors don't need him. They're not going to pay him what he wants to come in and be a role player. They don't need him.
They got his ring. Why would they need him?
Exactly. The Jazz was a really good choice for him because the young talent, they could realistically bring him in. We'd have to lose, a couple key pieces, but we could bring him in. But going back to the Jazz aren't going to pay people. He's not coming here.
Hey, yeah, LeBron James is not coming to Utah. We'll just throw that out there right now. My personal opinion, I think he does end up in L.A. I don't know that they get Kawhi Leonard. I know they get. I think they get both Paul George and LeBron James. That's my feeling. I don't think Kevin Durant goes anywhere.
I think Kawhi Leonard's a cancer. I would not take him. He when he got healthy, he was able to come back and play with the Spurs, and he wouldn't do it. He had an issue, and he says, "No, I'm not playing for you guys," because I had him on my fantasy team, and I kept that sucker all year long, and every stinking thing, every week. Oh, he's been practicing. He's looking to come back next week. He's looking to return next week. He never came back, and then you turn out later, he had a dispute with the team and management and the coach and everything else, and he was just being a baby and didn't want to play. So,
well, and that's a lot
I
of these
say
guys anymore.
Go somewhere else. Don't come to my team.
I don't know if Kawhi Leonard leaves the Spurs this year. I think they're perfectly okay sitting on him so nobody else has him.
I think he will. I think he will, just for that point you touched on, that there's that rift between him and the organization. He's not ever going to play in a Spurs uniform again. But I honestly don't see them sending him to a Western Conference rival either. I could very easily see Kawhi Leonard going to Boston.
If I was an owner, this is just me personally getting on kind of a random all over topic with all the sports. When they hold out, you sign a 4-year contract. After 3 years, they hold out and want to be paid as much as, so-and-so got this much money. But you signed a contract. I would say, fine, don't play. And I'll keep your rights. I'll keep your thing, and you'll sit out a whole year. Mm-hmm. If I was the owner, that's what I'd do a lot. Because remember when Barry Sanders and Emmitt Smith were the two top running backs in the NFL? Emmitt Smith signed for X amount of dollars. Barry Sanders says, I'm holding out until I get my money. So Barry Sanders held out 2 games. And I lost a lot of respect for Barry Sanders. He's cool, he's calm, he's collected, he's an awesome guy, awesome player. But he signed the deal the year before. It wasn't like he was on the last year of his contract. He signed the deal the year before. He was the highest paid running back in the league, and every year the salaries go up. It just does.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast.
Yeah, and so Emmitt Smith signed that deal. Barry Sanders says, I'm not playing. I'd have said, fine, I got you for 5 years. I'll let you sit.
Yeah,
that's what I would have done. I mean, like I said, it's hard to lose money like that, but you can't hold my franchise hostage.
But that's just what these guys are doing,
and it's getting worse.
And there's no owner in his right mind that's actually going to sit that guy and take the chance on that. And one more thing on this before we leave this topic, we were talking about LeBron texting Kevin Durant about coming to LA with him. Once again, LeBron is showing, hey, I need to join forces with somebody to go and win. And yeah, people are going to say, well, Jordan had Pippen and this and this and this. But Jordan made his teams better.
Jordan and Pippen weren't on other teams and met up somewhere. They were drafted.
Yeah.
And they played together.
And like Kevin Durant had just got his ass beat when he was in Oklahoma City by the Warriors, and then you go and join that team. And it just kind of goes with what we talked about a little bit last week. These guys aren't as tough anymore. They don't have that same desire, that same drive. And one thing I do want to bring up, my dad and I were talking about this, and he brought this up, and so I want to give him the credit for this. Willis Reed, 1970 NBA Finals, okay? Tears a leg muscle in Game 5 of the NBA Finals and misses Game 6. Wilt Chamberlain goes off in Game 6 for like 40 points and 30-something rebounds. I mean, they couldn't stop him. Sends this thing to Game 7. Willis Reed comes back in Game 7 for the New York Knicks, plays the entire first half with a torn, I want to say it was a thigh muscle. This thigh muscle is pulled completely off the bone at this point. And Willis Reed is out there playing in the first half of Game 7 and then ended up turning it over to Walt Frazier, I believe it was, for the second half. And the Knicks ended up shutting him down and won the 1970 NBA Finals in 7 games.
There's actually video of that. It's a great – you can see him limping down the court at both sides. He was hurting. A lot of respect for that.
There's no heart for any game like that anymore.
No. You'll never see anybody do that.
And honestly, I don't feel like anybody needs to have that anymore. I just wish – they weren't such babies. I don't want people out there hurting themselves, giving themselves permanent damage just to play for me. I don't need that. I just don't want them to whine because somebody flicked them in the ear.
Have you ever seen them soccer highlights? Yeah. Holy cow! I watched some of them today.
Those guys flop like nobody's business.
He didn't even touch him. He yelled at him. He pointed at him, and the guy falls down and holds his face, and he gets a red card. Whatever they do in soccer.
I tell you, the toughest league in any sports league now, the Lingerie Football League. Yeah. I'm not even joking. Like, those ladies are
they get out there. Holy
tough.
Crap. They will get out there. I've seen that there's chicks grabbing other chicks by the hair, throwing them down. It's brutal.
Yeah, obviously I want to watch because it's a Lingerie Football League.
Oh, no, I watch it from a sheer sports journalistic point of view.
I watch it for the plot. That's why I watch the Lingerie Football League.
No, we're not talking about that other thing you watch.
I've never seen it, but I'll check it out.
And it is a good thing I have my pair of boots on. But anyway, those ladies are tough as nails. Moving on, I think we should talk about a little bit about the World Cup. If you guys are cool with that.
I'm with it, Mike. I know you're not down with soccer in the World Cup. And this week I did figure out exactly why. And I think it goes this way with a lot of people. Why they're not really into soccer over here in our part of the in our little corner of the world is like, a lot of people aren't as excited about the 2026 World Cup coming because the last time that there was a World Cup on home turf, Voldemort came back and Cedric Diggory died. I get it, Mike. I'm right there with you.
I just don't like watching any sport for 19 hours that ends up in a 0-0 tie. It's just not exciting to me to watch a bunch of guys run up and down the field, up and down the field, up and down the field, and nothing going on.
We're going to have to take a field trip, us four.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. So, I'm with you on this. We do want to talk some soccer. Okay, the World Cup group stages ended today. And then, if you're not familiar with it, the group stage is basically you've got all your countries that are in the World Cup divided into 8 groups of 4. They basically play around robin style. And now we're down to the final 16 in the knockout stage. One big point that we do want to touch on, Germany. The defending World Cup champions from 2014 lost for the first time ever this year in the group stage. And that was finished off by their 2-0 defeat to the team from South Korea. And I actually watched the rest of that game yesterday. It was incredible to see. And I mean, there are a lot of reasons why, but I mean, when you have a team that is historically as strong as Germany is, to see them crash out in the group stages is incredible.
I'm pretty sure there was Russian meddling.
Well, of course, they're in Russia. Yeah, there's going to be Russian. Well, and we were going to talk about this a little bit last time. We were going to get World Cup predictions. I'm glad we never got to it Because I had told you at the beginning of the tournament I was riding that Germany.
I also would have picked Germany right at the beginning of the tournament. It would have been hard not to go for the reigning champs.
Well, and even though that there's not been back-to-back World Cup winners since the 1950s when Brazil did it, I mean, that Germany team is just so stinking strong. But this is what we got. And look at this left side of this bracket. This is insane. You've got Uruguay, Portugal, France versus Argentina, Brazil versus Mexico, and Belgium versus Japan. That is insane that those guys are all on one side of the bracket. Where the other side, you've got Spain versus Russia, Croatia versus Denmark, Sweden versus Switzerland, and then Colombia and England round out that side of the bracket. And it's worth noting today that England played Belgium in the final match of the group stages today. Neither one of those teams wanted to win. And let me explain this to you why. Because the winner of that game jumped on that left side of the bracket to face Japan in the round of 16, whereas the loser ends up with Colombia. And Japan's just a stronger team, even though Colombia did win that group. And then so you look at it, so if Belgium does get out of it with Japan, they're going to face the winner of Brazil and Mexico. Whereas England now, if they win, will face the winner of Sweden and Switzerland. You tell me which is the preferred line of travel.
It'll be hard for Spain not to come out and make it to the finals. And I love, and that maybe that's coming from me being a fan of Spain, but it's going to be hard for Spain and England not to be in the quarterfinals of that, or
in the semifinals.
In the semifinals of that.
I mean, just based on what's on that side of the bracket, I totally agree. I think your semifinals are definitely going to be Spain and England. There's nothing on that side that's even remotely on the same level as those two teams.
Yeah, if I can go old school, like I said, I don't live with my head in the sand. I know a little bit of the 50s, 60s, 70s soccer I used to remember back in the day, back before Sports Center and everything else. But I'm saying right now, I'll call it, just from the old school point of view, the winner of the Brazil-Mexico game wins the whole thing.
I could see that. I could see it. I do think that coming out of that side is going to be Brazil, and then I think it's going to be Brazil-Spain in the final. And I'm sorry, I know that you're riding that Spain train, but Brazil has got a sour taste in their mouth after losing the semifinal at home last year in Brazil, 7-1. Germany just handed their asses to them. Brazil has got a really bitter taste in their mouth, and they're coming out for blood. So that's my pick.
It depends on if Neymar wants it.
Another one-named soccer player? Shocking.
It's funny you bring that up because I've actually talked about this with my kids a little bit. You know, and that's what they have in Brazil. They go by one names. You've seen the Pele, Ronaldo, not that Ronaldo.
I know.
Ronaldo, Ronaldinho. They've got guys like Neymar, Paulinho, Juninho, things like that. All these guys with one name. And then there's a cat playing for the Brazilian national team. He actually just signed for my guys, Manchester United, for this coming year. Fred.
I like that a lot better.
Hey.
You know, you could call him Fredinho, but no, we got Fred. So as of now, with him playing for United, he's Fred the Red. Glad to see it happening.
You can't count out Portugal, though. If you have Cristiano Ronaldo, you can't count him out.
Cristiano Ronaldo is an absolute freak of nature. Same thing with Leo Messi for Argentina. We talked a little bit about this, I think it was either yesterday or this morning. Messi is phenomenal at a club level, playing for Barcelona. But when it comes down to playing for the national team, I don't want to say he disappears, but he's just not at the same level. Whereas you see Ronaldo, I mean, he went out in his first game this year against Spain, of all teams, in their first match of the group stage and got a hat trick.
See, and that's hard because it's my favorite player against my favorite team. Because I'm a Madrid fan, I love Spain, but I had Cristiano Ronaldo playing against Spain. So, yeah, I love to see him win. But I don't think Portugal wins at all. Their depth
I think they'll put up a good fight. I think that they could easily make it to the semifinals if they wanted to. I think they could easily beat out Argentina in the quarterfinals because I'm almost positive that's how that's going to end up.
I wouldn't count out France. Argentina did not look good in the group stages. I could very easily see France beating them in that round of 16.
I'm good with soccer. If
Let's
you guys
movie
are-
it.
Yeah, let's.
All right.
Let's get on to the big topic.
Real quick, before we hop into movies, let's take a quick break, and then we'll get right back in with your favorite sports movies and our favorite sports movies.
And we're back. God, I love that mid-episode pee break. It sure is fantastic. And I am happy to report nobody got their leg peed on this episode.
Hey,
dry.
it's a step in the right direction.
We're doing well. Once again, before we get into these sports movies that we wanted to talk about, and again, thank you to our listeners and our followers for commenting with us. We do want to throw our contact information out there again. Follow us on Twitter at Guys Hiding. Go ahead and email us at 4guyshiding@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook.com/Guys Hiding from Their Wives. Check out our YouTube channel. That's where our very first episode first came up. It's 4 Guys Hiding from Their Wives on YouTube there. So follow us up, like it up, share it, get all your friends. We do got a couple things we're working on. Once we get close to that 500 likes and 1,000 likes, I got some stuff we want to give away, send to you.
Question. On the email, it says 4 guys, whatever. Is it the number 4?
No.
Or is it 4 spelled out?
FOURGUYSHIDING. Thanks for bringing that up, Mikey.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
make
don't
a lot
send
of
it to the other
mistakes.
one. You might get a response from a porn star or something because you never know what kind of things can happen.
On the internet? Never.
Oh yeah, that's my email.
Oh, okay. So that is Trevor's porn star email. Feel free to send all the dirty man part pictures you want to him.
He goes by Buck Naked.
No taint. No taint.
All right, let's do this.
That's a mental picture I don't need. One other little bit of sports news I want to touch on. I don't know quite what the heck is going on in the world today, but a dead body was found in the Atlanta Braves Stadium, SunTrust Park, this week. It was found in a walk-in freezer. Take that for what it's worth. I don't know. Apparently a coworker opened the freezer in there. And then Janoris Jenkins, the cornerback, from the New York Giants, they found a dead body in the basement of his home. He wasn't there. He's in Florida, I believe, doing some stuff with the Giants team activities. But his brother, from what I understood, is staying in the house. And a little bit of interesting trivia on that. Janoris Jenkins was roommates in college. Anybody know who he was roommates with? You don't count because I talked to you about this.
I
know
got
the
to guess
answer.
Hernandez.
You are correct. Aaron Hernandez and Janoris Jenkins were roommates in college, and they found this dead body in the basement 5 years to the day that Aaron Hernandez was convicted of murder. I mean, just weird, freaky coincidence.
Interesting.
But funny little things to talk about there. Now, next week, we will not have a show. The 4th of July is going to kind of wreak havoc on everybody's schedules and that. But we will be back with you in 2 weeks.
And beer's gonna wreak havoc on my liver.
Well, your check liver light goes on and you just ignore that sucker. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll be hopefully on our new home Wednesday night. And then we'll just kind of see where it plays from there. I apologize. It's been a couple of weeks since we've got to talk to you guys again. But, somebody goes on vacation, decided he needed to go camping last week. This is why we can't have nice things.
Sometimes some of us gotta have nice things.
Well, this is why the rest of us can't have nice things because you're not here.
You didn't even take me.
We're here playing around, and, we had nobody here to play with us. That really sounded bad. Too much male bonding in here for me. All right, getting to these movies. Best and worst sports movies of all time. We want a huge thank you to those out there who responded on Facebook and Twitter and the rest of our social media. We had, just a couple, just to name a few. We had Erica get back with us, Nettie, Adam. I think Jim responded to us on Twitter. Sounded good. These are just some of the ones that we came up from our listeners, from our followers. We had The Blind Side. That was a good one.
Good movie. I liked it. It's a good
I
movie.
liked it.
No
I'm not quite
complaints.
sure I would call it a sports movie, but it's good.
It's not my all-time best, but it's a good movie.
It made Michael Orr a better player than he was.
I've made Michael Orr relevant. We'll say that. I apologize wholeheartedly again to my dad on this one. Sandra Bullock really brought that movie down. I didn't think it needed her in it. And if you know anything, I'm just kidding, Bob. Love you. 42. Jackie Robinson movie.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask. If that was the one about Jackie Robinson, I've never
Yes.
actually seen that, but I've heard it's good.
Never
Okay.
seen it.
All right, so I gotta say something on this one. I like the message it sends. I like that they did it, but for the movie itself, I didn't think the movie was that good. I love Jackie Robinson. I love the Dodgers doing it, what they did, breaking the boundary. But as a movie for entertainment, I did not like it.
I'm right there with you. The point it brought across was good, but just from a sheer entertainment standpoint, it was a snoozer.
And Harrison Ford's like my favorite actor, and I didn't care for it.
Okay, next one, The Waterboy.
Loved it.
Fantastic movie.
Mama says if you don't like the water boy, you the devil.
See, and I like
Captain
the Waterboy.
Encino.
I kind of put my list a little different. I had the movies I love. I got the movies that are good, and then I got kind of like a comedy one, and that's definitely in the comedy one. I can watch Waterboy. I got no problem
In my
with it.
opinion, The Waterboy, Adam Sandler's best movie, which is, Adam Sandler doesn't have a lot of good movies. He definitely doesn't have many great movies, but The Waterboy, one of my personal favorites. Again, sure, it's a sports movie. We're going to talk about it. Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore is also really good.
I got Happy Gilmore right there with the Waterboy too.
Wait, hold on. You say Adam Sandler doesn't have very good movies, and
He don't.
you're trying to fire me.
He don't have good movies.
That's all I'm saying.
Zohan,
Yeah,
I mean,
There's
Hey,
some stinkers.
he's
It's
got a
all
lot
about-
of stinkers. He's the Will Ferrell.
It's all
Of-
about the bush. My wife is gonna cry.
I've got Will Ferrell to talk about here again.
I'll tell you what, Talladega Nights sucked ass.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh,
Talladega
come
Nights,
on!
I hated.
My
What's that dude's name?
I'm gonna pray.
Ricky Bobby,
No, the
Jean Girard.
yeah,
I'm gonna
Sacha Baron
pray to
Cohen.
baby Jesus.
Sacha Baron Cohen. I hated him in that role in that movie. I hate Will Ferrell. He's got a lot of good one-liners. He's got a lot Step Brothers? Classic. Love Step Brothers.
I'm gonna
Wait,
come at you
wait,
like a
you love
spider
Step Brothers
monkey.
too?
Did we just become best friends?
You stole my line. You son of a bitch.
But yeah, Step Brothers was good.
gonna
Talladega
teabag your
Nights
drum set
sucked
next.
except for one line in the whole movie that I liked. Is when they was sitting around dinner and he was getting ready to pray and he's called his names Walker and Texas Ranger. I rolled. That was a great line. I love it. I mean,
Ricky Bobby's
but
got
I'll
me
never
all-
watch that show again because I thought the show itself was terrible.
The show itself was just stupid, but you know what? That's why you watch a movie. You watch a movie to laugh. Dumb and Dumber is not going to make anybody's top 100 list.
But I can
anywhere,
watch Dumb and Dumber a couple times.
But it's one of mine because there's nothing better than a movie that makes you laugh, and that's Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby for me.
I used to-
Absolutely love it.
Well, I used to race stock cars, and after every race, I mean, I used to strip down to my underwear and helmet and run around saying,
like he's on
I'm on
fire.
fire! I'm on fire!
that was like a
retarded.
ritual. I mean, you just obviously don't know racing.
There's not much that you don't do that you strip down to your underwear and run around afterwards.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like his
He's
like
going to
his-
do it tonight out in the street out here. So
like his
you know.
movie Semi-Pro. Not bad. Had some lines, but you know what? I've never seen it again.
Baby, who wants to love me sexy?
I've never seen semi.
A little Jackie Moon for you.
Yeah, it's
We definitely got off topic there. Another one of these, and I wholeheartedly agree with this one that came across, A League of Their Own.
hated it.
What? Oh, that movie is
Hated it.
like a classic movie masterpiece.
I get
think
the
it is-
story. I get they're saving the women's movement to be equals and all other stuff, but as a movie, didn't care for it.
I see, and I feel like as a sports movie, it doesn't like come across as great, but as a movie, as like a cinema masterpiece, it is up there.
It might be because I hate that chick too.
Rosie
Which
O'Donnell.
one?
No,
Gina Davis.
Gina Davis. I don't like her acting. I don't think
See,
she's that
and
good.
I thought A League of Their Own was fantastic. It really showed, kind of what the sports world went through in World War II when all our boys were over.
I like that part of it. I like
fighting
the
in
story
war.
of it.
And it was just very entertaining. Even Rosie O'Donnell, I'm not a big Rosie O'Donnell fan, but I liked her. I really liked
You
it.
still like her. You have a picture of her in her bikini in your bedroom. And
Hey, I showed
I-
that to you in confidence. You were not supposed to tell anybody about that.
I actually, I kind of agree with Mike. I like the story, but the movie itself.
It didn't make me feel nothing about their hardships and what they was going through. I know they had to wear dresses. I know there was a lot of pain and like you said, the war stuff. And I know it was a pain in the butt. And the manager didn't want to be there. He didn't want to help them out. But sports movies that are excellent, that are good, make you feel something. and that did nothing for me.
All right.
A couple funny lines, couple historic moments. And I'm like, okay, cool. But as a movie, didn't care for it.
Speaking of funny parts in that movie, I'm gonna hit you guys with a little bit of trivia. Do you guys happen to know how long Tom Hanks peed for in that one scene in that movie?
It was only like 45 seconds or something like that. If I'm
When I see another guy peeing, I turn my head and I don't count. Sorry.
I actually timed it one time, and I might be off base on this one, but I think it came in at about 1:21.
We'll have to compare him to Revenge of the Nerds when Ogre went in there and did his.
And
Let's take bets on that. We need to. See
we'll follow up on that next week. And I do need to apologize to. There's another podcast that a couple of us listen to. Doug Loves Movies. Much love to you, Doug. He actually had that as one of his games on an episode, and I wish I'd have remembered it, that it had stuck out a little more, that we could have talked about it. But I will follow up on that, and we'll make it a point to talk about that. A couple of the others on the list of from the readers, or from the listeners, not the readers. Good hell. Major League.
I liked Major League. Great movie.
Major League was good. I liked it. No complaints.
Never seen it.
Never seen Major
and you're
League?
a sports fan?
Never seen it.
Major League.
Jesus.
Watch it. Watch Major League. It's well worth it. And then Creed and Rocky were brought up, and I think you can just lump those into the
whole
all
Rocky
in a series.
series.
Well,
Except for Rocky V.
Rocky V was absolutely horrible with Tommy the Machine Gun.
Yeah, and the thing about Rocky and what makes it a great movie was, first of all, it can stand the test of time. If Rocky comes on right now and the fight
I'm gonna
scene's
sit down
on,
and watch it.
I'm going to sit and watch it.
I'm not. I hate Rocky now because my dad, every time it was on, we had to watch it. And I took him to Creed, and I seen my dad cry during Creed. It was horrible.
Creed wasn't a bad show. It really
No,
wasn't.
Creed really was well
Creed
done.
could have stood on its own, but because it was good. But Rocky, if you say you don't like Rocky, here's the thing: anybody that's a sports fan, if you hear that music, you know what movie it is, you know who played in it, and you're ready to fight. That's just the way it is.
Hey, it
the
gets you
soundtrack
so
will make a movie. And
Well,
helped
how
Rocky
many
a lot.
times, even I don't even want to say as a kid, because like today, if I see a whole big flight of stairs, I'm gonna run up to. Okay, I'm not gonna run up the stairs, but I'm gonna walk
And
a little
pretend
bit
you're
faster than normal. And I'm gonna have that. I'm not gonna sing anymore, but it's just that thing that's what you do when you hear the Rocky theme.
Every time I come out of the bathroom, I have my robe on and I play Eye of the Tiger. My wife gets.
My wife.
Yeah, my wife asks questions about
Wives
it.
aren't invited, remember?
Yeah, come on, man. We're hiding from them. Which interesting point, when we were talking about the World Cup a little bit ago, Trevor gets a text from his wife, come home. He ignored it. It was great. I loved it. Every second of it. And then the one that I had at the very top of my list also came suggested from a couple of our followers and our listeners there. And if you say you don't like this movie, we're seriously about to fight. Remember the Titans.
Loved it.
Absolutely fantastic movie. I mean, I would rate it on the list of like the top 100 movies of all time.
Oh, it's there.
Oh, I love Remember the Titans, and I like the music. So
Remember the Titans
the
is
music is
easily
incredible.
a top 20. You could even push it up, but I have no complaint against it.
Well,
Remember the Titans
you
is a great
had
show.
it had everything. I mean, like Trevor said, your soundtrack was great, your music was good, the storyline was incredible.
True story. By
Yeah,
the way.
true story.
I love true stories. True sports
It
stories.
touched you in a way that absolutely knock it off. How old are we in here? Are we 12 again? Okay. The movie connected with you on an emotional level.
All the characters
Better?
were portrayed perfectly as well. I don't think there was a single person in that film that you're like, oh, that person's acting.
Yeah.
It was a great show. It really was. All
Absolutely
the way around.
fantastic.
All the way around.
I loved it. And then Rudy came to us.
I like Rudy.
One of our Twitter followers.
I don't
brought
think
that
there's
up.
a question. Rudy is one of the better ones.
I've
I like-
never
I like
actually
Rudy a
seen
lot.
Rudy all the way through. I've only ever seen the last half of it in gym class once.
Rudy was a great show, and I like how everybody thinks that's a great true story. That's like 3% of what really happened in the real story.
Well, how many true stories in Hollywood are much more than
Yeah,
that?
get on.
it's why they're
watch Joe
based.
Montana talk about it. See if you can get Joe Montana talking about it. He laughs. He goes, "That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life."
Yeah.
It wasn't even close to true, but as a movie, sports movie, and it had a little truth to it. The kid, great movie.
Yeah,
great movie.
fantastic. Well, and like you talk about, not much truth in the. How many, again, true story movies? I mean, you take a look at another one that's just big out, The Greatest Showman. that is hit huge in the box office. Came out last winter, right
think it was
before
last
Christmas,
December,
I think.
yeah.
I can say with 100% accuracy, I will never watch that show.
Oh, it
You
was a
actually
great
should.
show.
It's really
It
good.
was a really good show.
Is it a musical?
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
never see that show.
It did not portray P.T. Barnum in an accurate light. The guy was a prick. The guy was a douchebag, but the movie was fantastic.
And the movie really makes P.T. Barnum seem like somebody you want to hang out with, where in real life he was not.
He definitely was not.
He was all about the almighty dollar.
Whoa, him and I were best buddies.
How the hell old are you?
Don't worry about
Good
that.
God, you look like you're 7 still.
Well, now that we've talked about what your guys' favorite movies are, let's do a quick round table and just go through what our favorite and least favorite sports movies are. I'll start. My favorite sports movie is Space Jam. I think it's the best
Shut
sports
up.
movie of all time.
Shut up!
Bugs Bunny is an amazing
Shut
athlete.
up! Oh my god!
I think
I
that was the
agree.
movie that kickstarted my love for
I'm giving
women
my
with
2-week
Lola
notice.
Bunny.
Well, it looks like we may have a couple of openings here.
Oh, Space Jam was the worst piece of crap on the history of the planet.
Okay, so well,
Mars.
okay, what makes it such a piece of crap then that you
The
don't like?
acting was horrible.
It's not supposed to be good. That's what
Yeah.
makes
Oh,
it-
then it's a
I think
masterpiece.
that. I don't think
Wait.
it was. I don't think it was meant
Wait.
to be a good movie like Remember the Titans or Rocky.
I
you know?
remember Sean Bradley and the other two dingbats in there with him, and they were like statues. They didn't move, they didn't blink. They would walk to a certain spot, they'd stand there.
To be fair, I don't think they drafted Sean Bradley for his acting prowess.
Whoa!
Hey, you're just mad because it touched on 3 sports. It touched on baseball, golf, and basketball.
That's
That's
they
a
fixed
great
a really
movie.
big divot in that movie too.
He's fixing a divot,
It was-
and it had Newman.
Yeah.
And I think my least favorite sports movie, it's like almost, I consider it barely a sports movie. It's not good, but Jerry Maguire. That movie is garbage. I
Hated
do not
Jerry
like Jerry
Maguire.
Maguire.
I hated Jerry
Never seen it.
Maguire. It's a love story.
Yeah,
It,
that's all it is.
well, and it had the sports aspect of it. You know, it brought football players in, and it brought the sports agent in as a reason for that the women could get their husbands to take them to the movie.
hello. Shut up.
Yeah. Did you know that the human head weighs 8 pounds though?
I thought it was
The little kid was great. I loved the little kid in it.
I don't know. It was terrible.
Terrible sports movie. Yes, cheerleading is a sport. They are phenomenal athletes, much better athletes than 95% of the other major
Bowlers.
sports.
Quit sucking up.
Fired up.
Oh,
Absolutely
your,
hated it.
Your door is made with many kinds of wood.
I thought he was going to say "Bring It On."
No,
I
Bring
thought
It On
that's
was
where-
great.
I thought that's where he's going to go. I didn't mind "Bring It On."
No, I
watched
like
it.
Bring It On, but no, Fired Up was horrible. What was it that they thought they were in hell? And he's like, no, because if we had died, we'd have heard we are crashing. We are crashing.
Yeah,
it was
I've
just
never seen that
absolutely.
one.
I mean, it had funny parts. But
but it made you
was
remember
brutal.
it. That's all I'm saying.
Damn it, you're right.
I think my biggest one growing up that I hated. I mean, I got another one now, but the biggest one I hated growing up was Chariots of Fire. Because it was about running, and everybody made a big stink about this show, how great it was, how awesome it was. That was the biggest piece of trash I've ever seen in my life.
And you still hear the song come up
And-
by Vangelis, and that's what you do. You start moving in slow motion.
And every time it comes up, I get pissed off. And another reason, okay, 6th grade graduation.
Trevor, speed it up. Quit
Listen.
moving so slow already.
You listening? 6th grade graduation. We were gonna come out to one of the Jedi themes, a song that was made by the composer that did the Jedi in Star Wars,
John Williams.
and he had a song, and we was gonna walk out to that. Chariots of Fire was so popular, and the #1 movie in the box office, and all that other horse shit. We came out to the Chariots of Fire theme.
And it took you 18 minutes to get to where you were sitting.
And I still despise it. I still hate it.
Longest graduation ever.
It was the biggest. I about didn't go to my own graduation because I was that mad.
Or was it that, or you just didn't pass?
I actually passed. After 6th grade, it got a little tough.
Wait, which time through 6th grade was that?
Only the
Third?
second. That was
Okay.
the second.
All right.
Oh, okay. Not bad,
Okay.
not bad.
Okay, Trevor, what was your favorite and least favorite sports movie?
So my favorite is radio.
Is that the one with Cuba Gooding Jr.?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It makes me cry every time. Don't you judge me.
Oh, I'm not judging.
Oh, I'm judging you
I've
hard.
cried at a few movies, but
I
I'm not,
cry at every movie. I cried at Coco most recently.
Never
I've
seen
cried
it.
at radio.
Coco, that was
I watched
terrible.
radio, but I lost interest real fast.
Made me cry like a madman.
No,
It wasn't one of my favorites. I enjoyed it.
I like radio. Actually, I really liked Coach Carter. I do like Coach Carter.
I didn't like Coach Carter.
That was hard for me to get into, but
I didn't like it.
that's just me.
It was
Was
blah to
that
me.
Sam Jackson or Lawrence Fishburne?
Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Sam Jackson.
That's racist. That was one of the most racist things I think I've ever said.
And that brings me up to one of my worst movies again, racist movie, Ali. I was so ready. I was excited to see Muhammad Ali behind the scenes, behind the fights, what he was really like, when he was preparing, getting ready. And they turned it into a racist show. They did.
That was really what it was
About war, racism, all this other stuff. I hated Ali. Biggest piece of trash.
Never seen it.
You're not missing nothing.
No, you're not missing much.
Actually, is a movie that a guilty pleasure that I love this movie. I shouldn't because it's really, really politically incorrect. I love The Ringer. I really love The Ringer.
If I remember right, that was the one where Johnny Knoxville pretends to be special to play in the Special Olympics to get a gold medal or something.
They
right?
brought him in. They brought him in as the ringer, kind of like we did with Trevor, bringing him in our show.
I watched it, and I
But-
didn't
but
really
for the
care
opposite
for
reason.
it, but I ain't got nothing against it, but I didn't like it.
I mean, I love that movie. It's really, it's awful. Like, the acting's not good. The quality's bad.
It is just like you said. It is so politically incorrect. The jokes are in really poor taste. But you know what? I will admit it. It made me laugh.
All right, you guys are kind of young school for me. I got to go old school here. Do you guys remember shows like Hoosiers?
Yep.
Loved Hoosiers.
I ain't heard no one mention
I've
Hoosiers.
never seen Hoosiers.
I like Hoosiers.
Hoosiers
That's a
is
good one.
good.
We had it on VHS when I was a kid, and I've never seen it.
Hoosiers is good. Bad News Bears is good.
I love the Bad News Bears. Not the Billy Bob Thornton piece of shit.
No.
The original
The original Walter
1976. Walter Matthau.
Little Giants.
Little Giants was okay. I watched it.
Whoa.
We've had a discussion about Little Giants. If you haven't got the chance, and this is if you are truly a guy hiding from your wife out there, if you've got the chance, check out, and I can't remember her name. Give me just a minute, and I will look it up.
The Refrigerator?
The gal that played the Icebox.
Icebox. Something like that.
Look her up. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Another show that was amazing that I loved, Miracle. The hockey, 1980 U.S. hockey.
Do you believe in miracles? Yes.
Tell you
Never
what,
seen
I
it.
remember.
And that
when
was
they
a
won
horrible
that.
Al Michaels impression.
Never seen it.
I've heard of it, and I've also never seen it.
That is an amazing show. I mean, you know what's going to happen, and you still get goosebumps and get excited when
Absolutely.
it plays because it was that good.
It's about the Miracle on Ice, the 1980 United
Olympic
States
on-
men's
When I
Olympic
think
hockey team.
When I think Miracle on Ice, I think the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Well, and we speaking of the Mighty Ducks, we touched on this too a little bit with Rocky. You know, that's one of those things that the soundtrack of a movie will absolutely get you fired up and get you going.
I cannot recall a song from that.
The second one, they had Bachman Turner Overdrive's "You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet"
Okay.
was a good one.
I can listen
They
to
had
BTO.
the Hay song, the Rock and Roll Part 2
Okay.
from Gary Glitter.
All right.
I believe they had Queen's "We Will Rock You," "We Are the Champions." I mean, the soundtrack to that thing was phenomenal. The movie wasn't bad, and you know, and a lot of people ended up with a bad taste for the entire country of Iceland after that. I actually heard somebody say that there's no way they were going to cheer for Iceland in this year's World Cup because they were still pissed off about the Mighty Ducks too.
Cool. Anyway, another great show, Glory Road. Texas Western University. when they
The one that turned into UTEP, right?
I think so.
That's
yeah.
the university that turned into UTEP.
They
Texas El Paso.
it was actually when college teams would not start black guys.
Yep.
They wouldn't even
Yeah,
get them on the
that's the
team.
one.
And then they went against Kansas. Pat Riley was on that Kansas team, and they started 5 black basketball players, and they actually won the national championship that year. And
That's right.
it's an amazing story. It's an amazing movie. It's awesome all the way around. Just a great movie.
You know what's a horrible movie? Joanna Man.
Yeah, that ain't worth my time. Eddie, Joanna Man, Like Mike, Air Bud.
Whoa,
Dumb as-
Airbud.
Yeah, come on.
Airbud is amazing.
You put Glory Road next to Air Bud, and if anybody picks Air Bud, then
Everybody's
there's some
picking.
mental
You're
issues.
the minority. on
then
this
maybe
one.
they could be our ringer for the next.
Yeah. How come no one's mentioned We Are Marshall?
That was a good one, yeah.
I've never seen that.
Not a big fan of Matthew McConaughey, he just made it hard to watch. I mean, the story and the movie itself was really good, but like I say, there's just, and it may have just been the day I watched it. Some days I like him, and other days he just bugs
We
the
Are
absolute
Marshall
shit
is
out
a
of
great
me.
movie.
Oh,
I
right.
love that one.
All right.
Yeah, that exactly.
How about Mystery Alaska?
I've never seen that one.
You gotta see that one. I love Mystery Alaska.
There's nothing else to do but fornicate and whatever, play hockey and fornicate.
Mystery Alaska is in my all-time top 20 sports movies. It's awesome.
See, I liked We Are Marshall. The Gridiron Gang.
Great Iron Gang, I didn't care for.
I didn't love it either.
What about The Longest Yard?
Longest
And
Yard,
not
both
talk-
of them. Both of them
See,
were good.
and there we go.
Pretty good.
Talking about another Adam Sandler good movie.
Because he stole the script
Not
from someone
great.
else.
Yeah. The original with Burt Reynolds,
Burt Reynolds.
was you can't compare to it. But as far as a remake go, and maybe that's what we'll talk about next show. As we're going to talk about your best and worst remakes of a movie. That's what we'll go with.
Yeah.
We'll
That
talk
works.
about, and it doesn't have to be a sports movie. It can be any movie at all, entirely.
Cool.
Any movie?
Any movie.
Remakes, good and bad.
Good and bad.
So-
And that also does count the ones that Mel Brooks made fun of.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I believe those would count as a
Absolutely.
remake.
That's fair enough. I'm not sure. I would consider parody a remake, but I think you can count it.
Yeah.
Well, for the purposes of argument and what we're going to go with
And
next
what
time.
we want to do, yeah, we do whatever we want. Another one in my all-time top, probably 5 for sports movies, The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Yeah, that was a good one.
It has been a while since I've seen that, but yeah, it was really good.
And I'm not even a big Shia LaBeouf,
LaBeouf. However you say it, I don't know.
whatever his name is. I'm not a big fan of his, but that show was amazing.
Do you know what? I didn't like Trouble with the Curve.
I hated Trouble with the Curve.
I didn't like that one.
And okay, now since we're getting into it, every list I've ever seen for greatest sports movies.
I know where you're going with this.
Goddamn!
And I wanted to bring
Goddamn! Everyone.
it up. We're
I
going to
was
get
waiting
Mike.
for one of you guys to say it so I could jump on you.
I wanted to save it till right now. This is the perfect time, okay? You guys know, I brought up which one was my worst. This one is one of my favorite sports movies. And I apologize, Mike. It's going to piss you off.
No,
royally.
you can like it all you want, but
I
I don't think
really enjoyed this movie, and we did talk about it a little bit before we started recording tonight. Does it qualify as a sports movie? Yeah.
No!
This movie touched Mike in places, deep dark places he doesn't want to touch.
This
now.
is the
And
worst.
of course, we are talking about the Kevin Costner, James Earl Jones, absolute classic, Field of
classic
Dreams.
piece of shit.
No.
Okay, so Field of Dreams, let me tell you this. Okay, give me my rant. So Field
the
of
floor
Dreams,
is yours, my friend.
Field of Dreams is a 120-minute show. 114 minutes of it is boring, drab, pointless, zombie slobbering because it's so boring. Nothing going on. They can't figure nothing out. And 6 minutes of it is guys playing in the field, practicing, warming up, doing that kind of stuff. Fine. It's not a baseball movie. It's not a sports movie. It's a feel-good movie about a man missing his father and trying to reconnect with that spirituality, the lost days, the lost time, whatever you want to say, because him and his dad didn't get along or
He has
whatever.
daddy issues.
Yeah. It's a piece of shit as a sports movie. It's a feel-good father and son, make you want to, love on your family kind of movie. And as a sports movie, as just watching it as a movie, if you want to say it's a relationship movie, fine, watch it. It's great, in your opinion. But as a sports movie, it's the biggest piece of trash on the face of the earth, and I get sick and tired of seeing it in the top five every time, and sometimes number 1, every time it's got a sports movie list. It's a piece of shit. It's not a baseball movie. It's not a sports movie. Take it over.
I'm glad we brought it up. God, I missed that. What the hell did you just show me, Trevor? I am ruined for life. Trevor just showed me something on Instagram. We're going to have to post that on our Facebook page just so you guys can share in that.
Okay, give me 30 seconds. Let me just run down a couple lists of more great movies. Invincible, The Rookie.
Oh, Invincible. Is that the one with Mark Wahlberg?
Yes.
61, The
You look
Marison
good. You
Mantle.
feel good.
61, The Marison Mantle
Oh,
story.
yes,
I
yes.
love that movie. Cinderella Man. And The Sandlot. Come on.
You're killing me, Smalls. Nobody brought up The Sandlot.
Wait,
The Sandlot.
Actually celebrating its 25th anniversary this year.
Yeah.
What's the movie that just came out that was boxing not long ago? It was really good. I can't remember
Rocky,
the name.
1976.
No. No. Like his wife
Rocky
gets-
2.
Southpaw.
Yes, that
Oh,
one was
Jake Gyllenhaal.
really good.
I like
Really
Southpaw as a movie, but the problem with boxing movies when they come out now, they're compared to Rocky. They just are.
You'll
They just
never
are.
you'll never make a boxing movie
that
will.
movie, The Boxer, with Wahlberg and whatever, great movie. But they compared it to Rocky.
What was the other one with Sam Jackson, the Great White Hype, or whatever, about that guy that he trained in prison and whatever?
Hurricane Carter.
I'm
Yeah.
tired of these snakes on
Yeah.
this plane.
But that's just my best ones. I hated Leatherheads, and don't get me started on the Big Lebowski. I'll go all.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
I hated
The Big
Lebowski.
Lebowski is not a sports
It's
movie.
not a sports
Okay,
movie.
then I'm okay with it.
It's a great movie, but it's not a sports
There's
movie.
bowling in it, but it's not a sports movie.
Yeah, and I got 4 hidden gems:
In-N-Out Burger.
World's Fastest Indian,
Oh,
Yes.
I freaking
movie
love
is
that movie.
fantastic.
American Anthem,
Never
I don't
seen
think
that
I've
one.
seen that one.
Vision Quest,
Nope.
and Youngblood.
Youngblood, I've seen.
Watch them movies. I guarantee you'll like them.
The world's fastest Indian, Anthony Hopkins, is really
Oh,
good.
that's a great
Incredible
movie.
movie. If
Great
you
movie.
haven't seen it, get out there and watch it.
And they come to Utah.
Yeah. And American Anthem, it's about gymnasts going for the Olympics, and Wayne Gretzky's wife, Janet Jones, is in there quite a bit.
All right.
It's worth a look.
All right. Speaking of worth a look, the chick's name from Little Giants, the Icebox, is Shauna Waldron. She was actually in a couple of the Poison Ivy sequels. Although myself, I don't know what Poison Ivy are. I've never seen any of those. But if that's something that you're interested in, you might want to check that out.
Actually, I really have no clue what those are, so you might have to tell me later.
And no
One of us in this room is full of shit. We'll just say
and
that.
I didn't even get to the comedy ones. I mean, come on, Caddyshack,
Caddyshack.
Come on.
The Comebacks. David
Slapshot.
Kochner and, yeah.
and another hidden gem for comedy, Wildcats. Woody Harrelson.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Wesley
Yes.
Snipes.
Yeah.
Goldie Hawn.
Yep.
Great movie.
Wildcats is good. The Replacements.
I like Replacements. Another one, Kurt
I
Russell.
keep hoping the
Robin
Broncos are
Williams.
going to sign Shane Falco.
Yeah. Robin Williams, Kurt Russell, Best of Times.
I don't think
haven't
I've seen
seen
that
that
one.
Great movie. Great movie.
You know what's a really good? Castaway.
No, geez.
It has a volleyball.
Wilson!
The Perfect Game. I was just telling these guys before we got on air about The Perfect Game. It's a true story from 1957 about the Mexican team going to the Little League World Series. Great, true story. And another one that's a feel-good story that I didn't really care for, but I liked the story, was Eddie the Eagle.
Eddie the Eagle is great. I love Taron Egerton though, so I mean that right there just made the whole thing for me. But we are running really short on time, so I do want to again thank you everybody for being with us. We are up on iTunes now and wherever else podcasts are available to be downloaded. Stitcher has our content on there. We're still working on getting onto Spotify, so bear with us on that. Again, follow our YouTube channel, 4 Guys Hiding from Their Wives. Email our show, 4guys-hiding, that's F-O-U-R, guys-hiding @gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter @guys-hiding, and check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/guys-hiding-from-their-wives. Anything you guys want to throw in here before we sign off?
Tell your moms, tell your brothers, tell your sisters, tell your coworkers, tell everybody about us.
Just don't tell your wives, because we're hiding from them.
No, tell them.
Except for really, tell them.
No, yeah, really, tell your wives, because we want to, again, once we hit that 500 like threshold, once we get up to 1,000 likes and followers, we're going to do something special. I got some good stuff that we're going to give away and send out to you guys out there. And I don't care where you are. I do know some really good people in the shipping business that I can get some stuff to you.
We're going to have to do a part 2 of this movie thing. I'm just getting started.
we could be here for 2 more weeks just talking about movies. So
Also, send us emails about anything. Send us emails about things you want to know about us. Anything. Also, send us corrections on things that we got wrong. Those are also things that we want to know. We want to know that we got things wrong.
Any
so we
topics
can
you
fix
want?
them.
yeah, and anything you want to hear us talk about. I do want to throw some love out to Jordan Buscarini. We didn't get to it on the last show. He did bring up a topic that he wanted to know about, and I'm sure it was all in a joke, but you know what? Nothing is off the table here, guys hiding from their
We're
wives.
just getting started, baby.
So, Jordan asked, did Hitler really commit suicide, or did he leave and run off to Argentina?
He went to Argentina.
Here's the thing with egotistical, maniac, crazy people. They're so full of themselves, they will not kill themselves.
That's
Oh,
not really nice to
absolutely.
talk about Jordan that way, Mike.
Yeah. so I have a hard time. I mean, I know they say there's evidence there, but I have a hard time after watching. I watched the series. I know where you guys are. I know where you're at. But I have a hard time believing he didn't try to get away.
Yeah, I don't know. The truth is out there somewhere, and that's for a whole other episode. And again, hit us up. Best remakes of any movie at all. Best, worst, let's talk about it. Again, for Magic Mike, Juicy, TK, Alexander the Great, I am Big Ben. Thanks, guys. Peace out.